Hello everyone, welcome to UGC NET Political Science classes by Drishti IAS. I am Dr. Ashwati. Students, in the last class we dealt with Kautilya from the unit number 3, that is Indian political thought. In this lecture I will be taking up another political thinker from India, that is Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai is a very famous political thinker from various respects. During the colonial times, we can say that she is among the first among the feminist writers in our country, feminist writers and feminist activists as well. And apart from that, we have Tarabai Shinde and many other names are there. But Pandita Ramabai has left a very, what we say, she became quite popular in our Indian politics as well, and then we will check out her life, her works and many other aspects associated with her life in this class. So this is her photograph, Pandita Ramabai. You can check out a book by Himanshu Roy and MP Singh on Indian political thought, where there is one chapter on Pandita Ramabai, and I feel like that is enough for you people to read for your UGC NET examination. It's a very good book actually, and there is one chapter on Pandita Ramabai and it's a photograph. Now next, her major works. It's very important, students, because like in UGC NET examinations, you must have gone through questions related to her works as well. So let's check out. First work is Stri Dharma Niti, that is one of her first work, published in 1882. Then England Cha Pravas, it's written in Marathi, England Cha Pravas, obviously it means that her stay in England, published in 1883. The Cry of Indian Woman, published in 1883. The High Caste Hindu Woman, which actually received much attention in academic circles. The High Caste Hindu Woman, published in 1887. United States Lokesh Sthiti Ani Pravasrita, that is about her stay in United States of America, 1889, published in 1889. Later on she came back to India and then she started her newsletter as well, that is the Mukti Prayer Bell. So these are the major works written by Pandita Ramabai, and students, please read them in a chronological order. It's very important that you should know about the major works of Pandita Ramabai, because there is a high possibility in UGC NET that such questions, or they may form questions from this section as well. So basically you have to be very you have to understand this. This is a first book, Stri Dharma Niti, is very important one. They may ask question like this, Pandita, which among the following was the first book by Pandita Ramabai? So you have Stri Dharma Niti. Then they may actually give some names of books, and they may ask you to identify the books written by Pandita Ramabai. There are different ways they can actually ask about Pandita Ramabai. They may ask about the book, about her certain phrases. They may ask about her like the organizations she set up during her period, or like they can actually ask about her like whatever award she has won and many other things. So it's very important, students, that you have to understand all the details of her life, and it is very important that you have to understand her major works as well as her other contributions. Going to our next slide. Pandita Ramabai was born to Ananta Shastri, a liberal Brahmin Pandit, in 1858. Very important, you have to understand, you have to memorize, at least keep it in mind about the year of birth. Always remember that if you have these ideas, okay, this person was born this time, so you can actually identify like, oh, this person must have written this work during this period. It becomes very easy. After the death of her parents and sister in mid-1870s, Ramabai, along with her brother, travelled throughout the country and until they reached Calcutta, now known as Kolkata. And she and her brother travelled across India after the death of her parents. Later on, she got married also, but her married life was not long enough because her husband passed away. So, like, we can understand that Pandita Ramabai, despite all her personal tensions, she struggled hard for the for the emancipation of women, especially widows, as well as she tried to identify the problems faced by Indian women during those days. Can understand that in those days we were under the colonial rule. And Pandita Ramabai, she broke the shackles of the traditional orthodoxy and many other things, and she actually traveled not just to England but also to United States. So you can understand her that she was a very smart woman and she had a great vision in her life. It's very important that we all should have a vision for our future, for community service, etc. And during that time, despite her personal tensions and many other things, and she faced various problems, but still she struggled hard, and she was capable of doing something for the upliftment of women. She received the highest title possible in India for a woman in those days, that was called Saraswati, meaning goddess of wisdom, which she received in Calcutta. She also received this title of Pandita for being a Sanskrit scholar. So you can understand here that she was an eminent Sanskrit scholar as well in her days, and in those days attainment of education for women was also not easy, and she did. So despite all the problems, as well as despite all sorts of what we call it as problems she faced, she was capable of achieving her goals. So there is nothing that we can say is easy, but you need to work hard. Pandita Ramabai, she founded the Arya Mahila Sabha in 1881. Please note it down. It's very important. This question was asked not just in UGC NET examination, but also in various other examinations, like in UPSC and many other examinations, state services also. This question was asked. So it's very important that you have to keep it in mind who was Pandita Ramabai and what sort of contribution she has given towards the community development. So this may be termed as the first feminist organization of India. In which year? 1881. Imagine about it. Pandita Ramabai decided to go to England for what? It's important. To seek British support for her widow's home. She went to England to receive funds or to get support from the British for her widow's home. In England, she drew closer towards Christianity, and on 25th September 1883, Pandita Ramabai converted to Christianity. Disillusioned with the imperialistic England, she did not receive much support from England with reference to what we call it as with reference to her widow's home. She was actually disillusioned, and she found that okay, these people are way more orthodox. So she left for United States of America on the invitation by Rachel Bodley, and please note down the year 1886. It's very important. Please note down the important years of her life. 1858 when she was born. Then after Arya Mahila Sabha, she founded in 1881. She left for USA in 1886. Her associations in the United States resulted in the formation of the Ramabai Association in Boston, USA in December 1887. Please note down this year as well. She returned to India in 1889 and formed the Sharada Sadan in Bombay. So Sharada Sadan was actually for the widows. In 1919, the British government awarded the 𝐃𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 medal for her distinguished service to the Indian education system. She passed away in 1922. So born in 1858 and lived till 1922. Pioneer of women's education, pioneer of upliftment of women, pioneer of she actually we can say that she struggled for women's rights as well in those days, and you can understand that it was during the period there were many social reformers as well, and many social reformers were there. They were also doing their whatever in their capacity for, like, if you remember, like the entire 19th century, we have seen that reformers trying hard for the abolition of sati, then after like promotion of widow remarriage, abolishing the child marriage, all these things were there. So you can understand she also gave her level of contribution towards the society in terms of upliftment and being upliftment of women, with that also being a voice to the women's concerns in the public sphere. Now we will check out some questions associated with Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai was accorded the title Pandita for what? A. Social reforms. B. Emancipation of women. C. Eradication of caste system. D. Being a Sanskrit scholar. So the answer here is for being a Sanskrit scholar. So Pandit, Pandita, that's very easy to understand. Obviously, she worked towards a social reforms, emancipation of women. Okay, she also criticized the caste system as well. But the Pandita title she received was for being a Sanskrit scholar. Next question, in which year did Pandita Ramabai open her Sharada Sadan Home for Learning? Now here you can understand that there are so many years given here. 1857, obviously it's a wrong answer because she was born in 1858. B. 1790, it's a wrong answer. Now here this and this one is actually tricky. Okay, so let's go back to my slide. She returned to India in 1889 and formed Sharda Sadan in Bombay. So don't forget the information, she formed it in Bombay. What if in UGC NET examination you get a question that Sharda Sadan was formed in which part of India? They may give you options like Calcutta, Madras, Bombay, etc. So the answer is Bombay. And Sharda Sadan was founded by Pandita Ramabai. For whom? Widows. They may ask about whether the victims of child marriage, or they may ask various aspects. So it's important to note down that it was for the widows. So here A, 1889 is the correct answer. Last question, which of the following statements are true with regard to Pandita Ramabai? First, she was a staunch supporter of Hindu philosophy. She actually criticized the caste system. We cannot call it as like she criticized the whole Hindu philosophy, but she was critical about the caste system, especially the problems faced by the high caste Hindu women was her concern, as there is a book written by her, High Caste Hindu Woman, published in 1887. And this important thing that High Caste Hindu Woman was published in United States of America, and Englandcha Pravas and Cry of Indian Woman, both works belong to her. She wrote it while being during her stay in England. So these two belong to the period of her stay in England. This one to United States of America. Second, she was a pioneer in the field of education and emancipation of women in India. It's a very correct statement. Yes, she was a pioneer in the field of education and emancipation of women in India. Why? Because she always preferred that women being educated is more important, and it actually will help that woman to break the shackles of traditionalism, orthodoxy, as well as it will actually enhance their life as well. She was the writer of the High Caste Hindu Woman. Yes, it's a correct statement. She was anti-Christianity. This is a wrong statement. She herself was drawn towards Christianity during her stay in England, and this statement is wrong that she was against Christianity. No, she actually supported Christianity. So that's all students in this class. Please go through the life and lessons of Pandita Ramabai about her important works. I am just doing a recap. It's very important. First work written by her was Stree Dharma Niti, published in 1882. Englandcha Pravas 1883, The Cry of Indian Woman 1883, The High Caste Hindu Woman 1887, United Stateschi 𝐃𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 Ani Pravasruta, this was published in 1889, and Mukti Prayer Bell was in the form of newsletter after her return to India. It's very important students, Mukti Prayer Bell. This was actually a newsletter by Pandita Ramabai. So students, go through my lecture and make notes appropriately. See you in another lecture. Bye.